Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a really quick video here. We'll try to make it quick. We'll see how long it goes. Um, just kind of doing one of the follow-up questions from the room tour video I recently did, where I just kind of put out there if anyone has any questions or things they'd like me to go a little deeper into, let me know. And one of the questions I got, one comment, another one was a question, was just kind of about how I go about cataloging my collection and like did it take a long time to do it and all of that good stuff. So I thought I would just kind of go through and just do that really quick, kind of old school style here. I just turn my camera around instead of trying to dive in and doing editing and all that stuff. So yeah, let me just kind of dive right into it. So I pulled up this Bon Jovi "Slippery When Wet" as an example. So yes, I do have everything. Well, I have every single one of my vinyl records in Discogs. I have right at half of my CDs in Discogs, which I'm currently working on, and then probably about a fifth of my cassettes. But every single one of my vinyl records are in Discogs. Um, I didn't start putting stuff in until like right when COVID began, which was kind of a perfect time because when everyone was told to stay home, we weren't going to work and everything else, that just gave me a lot of time to just focus on this new thing that I just started doing. And I pretty much got my entire collection in probably about 7, 8 weeks somewhere. I mean, I was like knocking out like a couple hundred a day. I mean, I was like just flying through it. So yeah, it was kind of a hard push at first, but I got everything in, and of course to this day, everything new that comes in goes right into Discogs, and it becomes very easy to maintain after that. So currently, I have about 4,861 individual albums, and like I said, all those are in Discogs, and every single one is the exact pressing. I'm very adamant about that. So I take the time to make sure I'm finding the exact matrix numbers, everything lining up, and get the exact pressing. I do the same thing with CDs. I want the exact pressing of the CD. If for some reason something is not in Discogs, I've put a couple of things in, but I only have like maybe 8 albums and maybe 4 or 5 CDs that aren't in Discogs. And I just have a little cubby that I just kind of keep off to the side, and I just kind of go back and check every now and then. And usually, eventually, someone will get one in there, just because I'm kind of being lazy. Or if I have like a CD that has maybe a bunch of various matrix numbers, and the one thing that's different is like one is a MS1 or M1S4, another one's a M1S6, and maybe mine is a M1S5. Again, maybe I'm lazy for the moment and don't go back and put the matrix number in myself, but I'll just put right over here in the notes. Mine is an M1S5, just so I know I do have the right one. It's just not hasn't been officially put in here, and I was too lazy to do it. So everything, cassette, CD, and vinyl, I want the exact. Um, Now, when you get into how I grade, I think that's where maybe I get a little bit, maybe a tad bit different than most people, I think. These are the grades that I work from: sealed, near mint minus, excellent plus, excellent, excellent minus, VG plus plus, VG plus, and then VG. Those of you that kind of know me know that I am a stickler about condition when it comes to my albums. Very particular about what I bring in. So these little spaces in between are very, very important to me and make a tremendous difference. I hate that Discogs does when you go to sell an album. I mean, your choices are from VG plus to near minus. In my mind, those two things are worlds apart, jumping from here to here. So I grade with the pluses and the minuses in between. All right, and on the sleeve, I do the exact same thing. You have sealed and the exact same. Now, what I do have added in here is I have a generic label, like and mainly this generic and plain is for 45s, and I guess some 12-inch singles too. If it's just a generic label, like on a 45, like a Motown or EMI or something like that, I just put generic label. I don't even put the grade, mainly because you can so easily replace those. So I don't, plain sleeve, I have like maybe 10 or so 45s that just have plain white sleeves. A couple of 12-inch that are, plain but have a sticker on them or whatever. So that's why those are in there. But anyway, so that's kind of the grading scale for both. Now, once I have that, any details I want to put about the album is like, gold stamp promo. Again, this is the Bon Jovi "Slippery When Wet." gold stamp promo, and it's also a label promo, which means promo is written on the label, but it's not a white label. And then the folder that it's in, which is hard rock. Now, when it comes to my folders, I have quite a few there. I think like over 70 different folders. And I put like a different folder for, I don't know, like look at like grunge. You have just grunge, which is LPs, of course, grunge CDs, and grunge cassettes. Hard alternative CDs, hard alternative cassettes. And it's like that with most of these down the line. So there's a lot of different folders to choose from, which of course correspond with the, where they are in my collection. 7-inch autographs, 7-inch metal or hair metal, 7-inch no sleeve, 7-inch pop, 7-inch promo. So again, I get very particular about that because you guys know how I am with the organizing. So that's how I kind of catalog everything in here. Now, when it comes to kind of pricing my records, we use Discogs at the shop to price records. So I've priced my records the exact same way I would do it when we're selling records and buying records at the shop. So I just kind of keep it, to me, that seems pure in my mind, because that's what the actual market is doing, is what's taking place at the shop. So for this Bon Jovi, for example, after I have all that stuff input, I have all the information right up here that it's a, 86 US pressing, blah, blah, blah. And then that's what I put on the back of the record. I put this sticker, not on the record, on the outer sleeve. 1986, year of the album. Vinyl's excellent minus condition. Cover is VG++. And pressing is a 1986 US pressing. I have it valued at about $35, by comparing it to just going in and looking at previous sales and everything. And the UC stands for ultrasonically clean. So once it's been ultrasonically clean, it gets that little check on the back there, and I just kind of know the status of this record. This information, and that means it's all set to go. And again, if you look at this album, again, I'm grading that VG++. I mean, there's just enough little things with like little softening of the corner there. The main thing is there's one little crease, which you can kind of barely see, like right through there. And it's only on the front, not on the back, but like that's enough to just makes me say, VG++ is about the best as this can get, and it's actually a pretty freaking nice album. But I always undergrade. It just makes more sense to me. And then you also look here, you see the stickers. I get asked about those a lot. OG pressing sticker, gold stamp promo sticker, as well as the one I showed you on the back. I get asked where I get those from. I got them off of eBay. I mean, there are tons of sellers on eBay that sell those little stickers, and they'll have like, 1,000 of them for $9 or whatever. And they almost all put on their listing, your text here. So you can just tell them to put anything you want to put on them, and they will do it. Like these right here, I know were security stickers. They were the kind like where you peel off, some of the stuff stays, and it's like a really shiny type of thing. So it's store security stickers, but I thought they made really cool OG pressing stickers. Found a gold sticker and just did say, can you write gold stamp promo on there? These are those mailing labels that people use. They put their return address, they put at the top of envelopes. And I just said, hey, can you put this on there instead of my name and address? And he was like, yep. And he did it. And it was kind of cool, too, because he said, I'll save the file. So if you ever need to order more, just put vinyl records on your order, and I'll know exactly which file to go make. And I've ordered from him like 3 times, and it's fantastic. And again, a nice little roll of stickers like that for, $9. And again, it's not like I don't remember this information or I need to have gold stamp promo written on there in order to remember it's a gold stamp promo. This really just, it's one more fun way to interact with my collection. It's fun going through the process and doing this. So that's really kind of why I do it. Now, I think another bonus, too, is that if, God forbid, something happens to me before I can sell this collection, and my mom inherited, who knows nothing about vinyl, at the very least, she's not going to have some guy come along and say, sure, I'll give you $2 a piece for those. And she looks at the back of that thing and go, well, Brandon said that was worth at least $35. I mean, $2, what are you talking about? And we know stuff fluctuates, but in general, she'll know, hey, you shouldn't be getting $2 for that. So that doesn't exactly bother me either, but I just like that organizing piece. So I have the outer sleeve, rice paper inner sleeve. It's been ultrasonically clean. It's been put in the Discogs. I got it priced and everything. So Discogs is good to go. So then I go to my Excel spreadsheet, and I would go over and open up a bar over here, and right where it says, sorry, put you guys right over there. Again, old school here. So I put in Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet, and I would put Gold Stamp Promo, and then I have a Japanese pressing of it as well. 1986. This is the year the album came out. This has nothing to do with the pressing. So the year the album came out, it's it's in the hard rock category. Vinyl's excellent minus, covers VG plus plus, and then is it just an LP? Is it a Japanese pressing? Is it a MoFi pressing? Is it a single? Is it sealed? Music on vinyl, analog productions? Any of that will be stated right here. The current value, estimated value. Do I have the CD? Yes, because otherwise it wouldn't say CD there. It'd be blank if there was no CD. CD's worth about $6. I have the cassette, haven't priced it yet, but it's on the Mercury label. Catalog number. The actual pressing is a 1986 US pressing. So that's what's right there. And then when you kind of go over, let's ask this, am I on the right one? Yeah. And then this kind of shows, usually here what I put, like if it's it's a splattered vinyl, if it's, just whatever particular is about the record itself. And then here's like where I got it. CD Warehouse, November 2024. That's where I got it from. I actually traded some albums and picked this up over there that day. But that's where I got it. Now, if I could go back and do everything from the start, which back in 1985 I wouldn't have had, Excel spreadsheet and everything else, I would love to have been able to keep track of every single place I've gotten every cassette, CD, and vinyl record I've gotten and how much I paid for it. But obviously, I didn't start keeping track of this just a few years ago. I wasn't tracking it when I was in 5th grade on through. So I'm starting from now, but that's just kind of all I can do there. But this is just kind of how I keep things in the Excel spreadsheet. This is the sheet. This is the sheet that I use, that I send into the insurance company, State Farm, each year, because this is what they go by with covering my vinyl records. I don't know if they still have it now, but about 15 years ago, if not longer than that, I got a policy from them, which is a personal articles policy, which was specifically for vinyl records, which is really nice. And it's a one-time use and 100% replacement. So there's no deductible on it. So if, let's say, for example, if this Slippery When Wet got damaged or broken, I could file a claim, like if I rolled over with my chair, I could file a claim for that $35 record, and it would pay me the $35. But then the policy is done, and you could never use it again and never get it back again. So it's one-time use only. So obviously you're going to save it for when the house burns down or the entire basement floods or something like that, when you have to replace your entire collection. But yeah, so my collection is insured. So anyway, there you go. That's kind of how I go about cataloging my collection. I guess with the CDs, maybe I should mention that really quick. As you can see here, I don't put all this information in for the CDs. I just put the CD and the value. So all that information is in Discogs, so you'll see this for the CDs. But even on the back, all I put on those is these little bitty tiny stickers off in the corner that just shows the value of the CD. So estimate about $20 for that deep purple, nice Japanese deep purple in rocks. So yeah, I don't go quite as far with putting all those other details except in Discogs here. But with the CDs, I do it just like the vinyl. I pull out the inner sleeves, I look at them, I make that judgment of excellent minus, excellent plus, near mint, whatever it is. I judge a CD the same way, and I'm just as tight on the condition of those as well. So once all that's said and done, I get the other half of my CDs in here, as well as my cassettes. Like I said, I want my catalog to be extremely tight and extremely precise. Like almost to the point where if someone wanted to buy my collection in the future, I could email them the catalog and they can get just like an absolute accurate feel for exactly what's sitting over there without even stepping foot in my music room. Something about that I like. So anyway, there you go, VC. That's kind of how I do that and why I do that. So let me know if you have any questions. Let me know what you think, and we will talk to you soon. All right, take care, guys.